After 9 hours of deliberations, just over 4 days, there's still no verdict in the corruption trial of suspended DeKalb County CEO Burl Ellis. And today, the judge, Courtney Johnson, sent the jurors home early after receiving 2 notes telling her they couldn't agree on anything or having a hard time just getting along. The notes said they could no longer follow the foreman, and they had yet to even discuss several of the 13 counts in that indictment. Judge Johnson told jurors, go home, get some rest, and be back tomorrow morning to try again. Joining us now for analysis on this rather strange turn of events is Atlanta trial attorney Pate. Good to have you here.
Great to be here.
So we want you to have the opportunity to listen to what the judge told the jurors just before they called it a day.
My expectation is that you will continue to conduct yourselves like adults and take this very seriously. There has been a lot of time and effort that has been put into getting this case to this point, and you all have a duty, and I expect you to act accordingly.
The judge there, speaking of conduct, let's talk about her conduct on the bench. What do you make of that statement?
Well, obviously the judge is trying to react to the note that she received from the jury. I mean, what is she going to do? These folks clearly are at an impasse. Now, we don't know if it's one holdout, if half of them are one way, half the other, but the judge has to do something to get them back to a position where they can actually make a decision. So sending them home in the middle of the day is unusual, but sending them home at the end of the day with an admonishment to, hey, you know, take some time off, go have dinner, let it leave your mind, and then come back fresh tomorrow.
That would be more typical.
That would be more typical. Sending them home at that stage is a little odd. I've never seen it happen before.
Okay, but it's not odd to have dissension among jurors.
No, not at all. Especially if you have a case like this, which appears to be somewhat political. Everyone knows that the district attorney has made this a personal case for him. He personally cross-examined Ellis. He's been very involved in the case. And if you're on that jury and you feel strongly either for Ellis or against Ellis, you may dig in your heels, even if the evidence is otherwise sufficient.
Now, the judge does have the opportunity, should this jury be deadlocked, of using something called the Allen charge.
Right.
Forcing them to make a decision?
Well, it doesn't force them, but it's kind of very strong persuasion. We call it the dynamite charge as well. And what happens is the judge explains to the jury that, look, you know, we've had a long trial. No other jury is going to be in any better position to decide this case, so go back and try again. Now, that can be dangerous. The judge can give that charge once, but you can't give it twice. And if the jury keeps coming back and says, look, we're deadlocked, then she has to declare a mistrial.
And then there's a problem longer term with something called reversible error.
Absolutely. Let's say the judge's comments continue to try to push the jury to make a decision even while they're telling her that they're deadlocked. If later he's convicted, his lawyers could appeal and say the judge leaned on them too hard. She forced a verdict when they say they didn't have one, and that could be reversible.
I know you're not in the courtroom for this. You're not certainly among the jurors that are deliberating, no. but what is the potential here for a mistrial? I
think it's very strong at this point. Clearly we have some personality conflicts. I understand some of the jurors had very upset demeanors. One had been crying. When you get a split that is that strong, it's hard to reconcile them again.
Pate, good to have you.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.